Hi, I'm so happy you're here. My name is Nicole and I am the host of our podcast here at My Aligned Purpose. I co-founded this company back in the spring of 2020 alongside Kaila Blakely. You'll get to hear from her every Thursday when we bring you on our famous, highly requested Biz Besties episodes. I trust that you've landed here or keep coming back because you are looking for inspiration and motivation from a real human. And that is my intention. In the 4 years of growing this podcast, I have had the incredible opportunity to support over 1,000 women. Yes, thousands, through our courses and coaching programs. I wasn't always an entrepreneur though. In fact, I was really bought into the societal way of doing things. Go to school, work for someone else, work hard and long, and then retire at 65. Thankfully, my life had a good shakeup in my early 30s and everything has been drastically different since. What you can expect from this podcast is conversations that make you feel like you're sitting down, lounging with me. We've got coffees and comfy clothes, talking about all things mindset, manifestation, entrepreneurship, marketing and messaging, bringing spirituality into our life and business, and so much more. Come along this wild ride where I tell you stories about writing a best-selling book, starting a business and scaling it to 7 figures in the first 3 years, stories of failure and heartache, and everything in between. So turn those notifications on, grab your headphones and your favorite bevy, and let's hang out every Monday morning together. Oh, and one last thing that I want you to know is I'm a regular, everyday human just like you. So if I can live out my dreams of being a chart-topping podcaster, you can live out yours too. I've got you. Hey everyone, welcome back to this week's episode of TGIM. Thank goodness it's Monday. I'm your host, Nicole Crone. It's really interesting how the theme of what we're talking about a lot lately in My Aligned Purpose is time. Without even thinking about it, I was just about to open up this episode by saying, it feels like time is flying. I can't believe it's already the middle of January. It feels like so much has happened in the last 2 weeks, just in the last 2 weeks, in the first 2 weeks of January, not only in my personal life, but within My Aligned Purpose and within our clients, just at large, it feels like there's a lot of shift and change happening for everybody. Kaila and I have made some significant moves in our business in just the last 2 weeks that we know is going to speed up the timeline of us reaching certain goals that we have in our business. And this is really what this conversation is all about, is how you can speed up time when you need to, how you can slow it down when you need to, how you can quantum leap time. If you haven't heard it on our last couple of episodes, we've been saying make sure you have your calendar blocked off Monday, February 3rd to Friday, February 7th when we are hosting our Freedom Week. And Freedom Week is all about how you're going to get 10 hours back into your life a week minimum and be able to do the things that you want to do in your business. So often we hear from women who have businesses or want to have a business that they wish they had more time to work on their business. We hear people who have big goals. The majority of people we surround ourselves with, like our own peers and mentors and a good portion of aligned CEOs, want to do those bigger things, those bigger accomplishments in their business. We're surrounded by people who want to write best-selling books and who want to get on TEDx and speak on different stages. We're surrounded by women who want to host big events and do all of these really cool things in their business. But they are not able to do that because they don't have a spare minute to A, be creative and think up these fun things that they want to do. And 2, they're so stuck in client delivery. I see people post it like a badge of honor, like they'll post what their day looks like on Instagram. That's not it for me. That's not how I want to run my business. I do not want to be stuck to my phone or stuck to my laptop all day. I want to be able to go for a walk or meditate midday or lay around and read a book or do things that allow me to think up the bigger vision in this business. I am a visionary and we attract a lot of visionaries in this business, and these are the ones who are up to really big things in the world. The only way to get here is to carve out time for yourself. Now, I know firsthand what it's like to have a full-time jam-packed schedule, because as you've heard us say a million times, when we look back on our first few years of My Aligned Purpose, 2020, 21, 2022, we were doing one-to-one coaching still at that point in time with a roster of 40 plus clients. So I know what it's like to sit down on Zoom, not even schedule a lunch break for yourself, literally have to run to pee between appointments and then get back on. And at the end of the day, like your body's sore because you've been hunched over. You want to be able to open up your heart and you're stiff and you're hungry. And also you're feeling completely drained and energetically like you're hitting that physical wall of burnout. And it was then that Kaila and I decided, actually, this business means so much more to us. This business has such a bigger vision. This business has such a bigger purpose than sitting down on Zoom all day. We know that we can support tens of thousands, if not millions of lives, but the only way to do that is to free up our schedule of doing the tasks and the things that are keeping us small, holding us back. So that's what I want to talk about today is time. I want you to click on the link in our show notes and get signed up to join us in Freedom Week. We're going to be talking all about how you can do this too. If you are a person with a big vision, you want to have a really big business, you want to make a lot of money, you want to have a lot of fun, you want to do a lot of good in the world, you will not do that exchanging every hour of your time for work. You need to create free space. You need to, in order to write the book, you have to have time in your calendar to write the book. To prep for your TED Talk, you have to have time for that. You can't do it all. And I certainly know why you probably feel like you should do it all, because that's how we are trained, especially us independent women. It's, I'm going to figure out how to do this and do it on my own. And then you end up literally doing everything by yourself. So inside of Aligned CEO Method, we are all about collaboration and connection and asking for help. And myself and Kaila, and actually quite a few, I would say at least a handful of alumni after last week's call, messaged us to say what a different energy this year feels like, and with the people that were on that first call, because we have attracted people who want a really big business. And so we were asking everybody on our first method call, like, who's making their first hire, if not their second hire? Who's writing their book? Who's getting on stages? Who's hosting big events? Like, we're not here to play small. And the energy of everybody in this container right now is really electric. It's really exciting. And it's people that want to make big moves and they're not afraid to do it. And so, in fact, we've been coaching a few different people on making their first big hire because they're like, all right, I get it. In order to go to the next level, I literally can't do it all by myself. So it's been so fun to be able to, already 2 weeks in, be able to be so hands-on with our clients and help them get that support. Now, I've shared my story many times about where I was with time. Everybody, I think at this point, unless you're brand new to the podcast, knows that I used to be a teacher. And so I did the teacher thing, and I was also waitressing and teaching yoga in the evenings, doing extracurricular activities. So all through my 20s, I was wearing busy like a badge of honor. And then when I turned 30, I moved to Australia and I took a year off, and it was just such a different pace of life for me. I was living across the street from the beach, and I would wake up and I would walk 10K along the ocean, and it was sunny and warm, and life was slow. I barely worked. I worked just enough to pay my bills, and my bills were so cheap because I lived in a house with 3 other people, and I worked at a restaurant a couple nights a week. So I fed myself there, and I didn't need a lot. I didn't want a lot. I didn't have a car. I didn't have furniture. My lifestyle was so minimal. It really showed me how, without all that busyness and without all that distraction, what I really wanted to do with my time. So I read a lot, and then I decided I'm going to write a book, and I had the time and the space and the energetic output to be able to write a book. And that was really a big shift for me. And that led me to knowing that I didn't want to go back into the classroom, because what I then realized, and this was the most monumental shift for me, is that my time is more important to me than how much money I make. So I thought I could go back into the classroom and work 60 plus hours a week and make X amount of dollars, or I could work less than that, make less than that, have more time, be more happy. Over the years in my 30s and building this business, My Line Purpose, and especially over the last couple of years, I have learned that I can make more money when I have more time, and I can delegate and outsource the things that allow me to free up more of my creative energy. If you imagine yourself like a phone, and you are doing all of the things and then you're always draining yourself empty and your battery is almost always empty, if not dead, then why are you doing that to yourself? You know that you have to be able to have space and time to recharge. Money won't necessarily recharge you. Time and space will. And you can create time and space when you have more money, and you can make more money when you have more time and space. They're so interchangeable, yet there are so many people that are making lots of money doing it in a really unaligned, overworked burnout way. And that's where you see people being like complete workhorses, working 40, 50, 60, up to 80 hours a week and not getting to live any of their life on purpose and do anything that they want. And that is not how we want to live. And it's not how we want to set any of our line CEOs up how to live. And we believe that having a business will set you free. Having a systems-led business will set you free. The amount of time freedom I have now is unbelievable. And we got here from outsourcing, from automating, and from hiring. Outsourcing, automating, hiring. We've also done this through setting our calendar up in a way that works for us. We've also done this by looking at what people who we look up to are doing so that they can grow their business and make more money and have more fun and do a lot of good in the world. What did they do? They're not sitting around exchanging every hour of their day for work. You just start to look at people who are doing what you want to do or who are at where you want to be, and you start to ask them questions. And this is where you pay to play. You pay to get into masterminds and coaching programs and different rooms and events and stuff so that you can ask people who are outside of your everyday circle, like, how did you do this? How did you get here? And so that you can have those conversations with them. I am so excited about the network that Kaila and I are putting ourselves into for 2025. You know how there's the saying, you don't want to be the smartest person in the room? I feel like the last few coaching programs or masterminds that we've been in, I didn't feel that way. I felt like I could teach these people a thing or two. Like, why am I paying to be here? I feel like I'm not learning anything new. And I'm so excited about where we're putting ourselves in 2025 because I am quite certain I will not be the smartest person in the room. And that's really exciting because it is going to allow me to ask these people questions, learn from what they've done, and speed up my own learning process and Kayla's own learning process. That's the whole thing with joining a mastermind. You speed this up. We're talking right now about how 5 years into our business, we have so much time freedom. That's why we can host She Leads, like the biggest event of the year, why we can write our book because we've got the time and space to do that, why we're able to now start to expand into other things in our business. We're now offering some things that are really near and dear to mine and Kayla's heart. She's opening up Kajabi consulting and I'm bringing in manifestation coaching. And we're able to do all of this while servicing aligned CEOs as our number one priority, hosting other courses and master classes, free week, like Freedom Week, and do all of these things because we have now got more time in our schedule. And it doesn't need to take you 5 years. That's the important message here. Put yourself in a room with people so you can ask us, what would you do and what wouldn't you do to get to where you are now to speed up that timeline? So I'm really looking forward to, just being in a room with people that I can ask those questions. Speaking of looking up to people and having people that you see as role models or admire, I often think about how many of the business books that have been game changers for me have truthfully been written by men. And if we talk about time, for example, one of the best books I've ever read that we did a book club with Aligned CEOs on is Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell. It is incredibly impactful how he teaches his system to buy back your time. And you've got to be serious and you've got to really want to take the actions that he's saying to take. And then, of course, Who Not How, written by Dan Sullivan and Benjamin Hardy. They also wrote 10X is Easier Than 2X. Fantastic books. And so while there's these amazing men out there who we can look up to with how to run our business and get our time back and scale and all these sorts of things, I like to also look into what are the women role models that I admire? What have they done? I was thinking about, of course, two of my top favorites, Sara Blakely and Oprah Winfrey, and thinking about different things that I've heard them say over the years or YouTube channels that I've watched, podcasts they've been on, and hear them talking about time. And I remember Oprah talking about how when she finally decided that she did not need to control every aspect of the business, of her business, and that she could allow the people who were in their zones of genius to do their thing. So let this producer be the best producer at their job and let them control that. And let the accountant be the best accountant. And, you let everybody who has their different hats be the best at what they are. And she said that when she finally allowed that space for herself and delegated in a way that freed up her time with Harpo Productions, she was then able to start her Oprah Soul Session Conversations, her podcast. That was something that was important to her that she wanted to put out into the world, but literally even Oprah didn't have time. And so she had to figure out, what can I do to free up my time? Because when you look at what you prioritize, what she wanted to prioritize was this creative endeavor of starting the soul sessions. And she couldn't even do that. Oprah couldn't do that because she didn't have time, because she was doing everything or doing lots of things within inside of Harpo Productions. So it just goes to show us that nobody is freed of having an open creative schedule or having more time. You have to actively choose it. You have to actively want it and make that decision. And then once you make that decision, you've got to get to work and you've got to figure out, okay, what is my zone? What am I going to do to get in that zone? And who do I have to hire? And how am I going to hire them so that I can take the next step forward? And then with Sara Blakely, same thing. Sara Blakely talks about how she really feels like she was able to step into CEO identity of Spanx when she decided she was going to receive help. And she said once she allowed herself to receive the help, everything started to accelerate so much quicker, because this person came in with the better idea. This person came in with the idea that moved things faster. This person came in and said, hey, this isn't actually like the area that you're the best at. Let me take it on. And once she was able to see, oh, okay, this is what I want to be doing, and this is how often I want to be spending my time there, her business, again, just like Oprah said, just like our own experience, just like anybody else who really starts to understand how important time is, her business accelerated. And then we can ask ourselves, what's the point of all of this? Why do we want our business to accelerate? Why do we want to hire? Why do we want to be in CEO role? Why do we want to do all of these things? Why is getting back our time important to us? Because you have a life to live. You have a fucking life to live. That's why. You don't want to be sitting down on your computer or on your phone or in your office cubicle or whatever it is all day, every day. You want to get out and live. There's a big wide world to see. There are people to love, experiences to be had, adventures to go on, creative ideas to pursue. All of that is waiting on the other side of you finally surrendering to, I don't have to do it all. And I can get help. And in fact, I can build a really incredible business when I just ask for support. And so that is what I really want to stress to those of you listening today, is to get yourself signed up for Freedom Week, because we are going to be talking all about this. We're going to be showing you how you could find the money to hire, what you would do with your time when you do hire, how you're going to plan your epic vacations or adventures for 2025. We're going to talk about how you can quantum leap time, speed up time, slow down time. We're going to talk about the simple systems that we use in our business to be able to manage our time and free up our time and delegate our time. We're breaking this all down. This is for the woman who has a business, who knows that you want more time to be able to pursue the other things in your business. Maybe this is the year you're finally writing your book or speaking on a stage or hosting an event. Maybe this is the year that you're finally creating that larger program. Maybe this is the year you're going all in on your business. Maybe this is the year you're growing your team. Whatever it is, every single one of those things I just listed and more all include you being available. And if you are not available and you keep telling yourself, I don't have enough time to work on my business, I don't have enough time to grow it, to hire, to make sales, to do marketing, to create content, you need time. That's what you need, is time. And we're going to show you how to find the time, how to create the time, how to slow down the time and speed up the time. So make sure you come join us February 3rd to February 7th, happening at 10 a.m. PST every single day in our Zoom room. You want to make sure that you're signed up. If you're not signed up, you won't get the reminders with the Zoom link. You will not get the replay if you miss the call, and you won't be inside of the room with all of these incredible humans who are there. It's always such an incredible opportunity to come and network as well. All right, I'm going to wrap it here. I look forward to seeing you on February 3rd, and we'll be back later this week with business.
Find out the fastest way to grow your business without sacrificing more time or adding more one-on-one clients now. Go to myalignedpurpose.com/quiz and get your results.